You are probably watching this video because procrastination has become a fundamental problem in your life. In my case, most of my issues arose due to my tendency to procrastinate. When you stop doing what you should and keep postponing it, all sorts of difficulties start to emerge. Your productivity decreases, anxiety takes hold of you, and you begin to avoid responsibilities. The worst part is the constant feeling of not fulfilling your obligations. The Stoics were deeply concerned about procrastination. We have examples of Stoic philosophers like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius who had numerous responsibilities in their lives and couldn't afford the luxury of procrastination. It is not an easy thing to overcome since we often prefer instant gratification over making the necessary effort. However, I discuss this topic extensively in my video on discipline. I recommend watching it once you finish this video, as discipline and overcoming procrastination are two tasks that complement each other. You can find the link to the video in the description. Although it is not an easy task, if you are watching this video, it is because you desire to make a change. You want to start being productive and take control of your mind and actions. Overcoming procrastination will also bring you more happiness, as you will feel at peace with yourself when you begin to act responsibly. It is astonishing how Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, had the same number of hours in a day as you and I to accomplish his work and fulfill his responsibilities. How did he find the time to be an emperor, govern the most extensive and powerful empire of antiquity, be a philosopher, writer, take care of his wife, create laws, attend trials, lead armies, and guide the Roman people through a terrible plague? Moreover, he achieved all this without succumbing to vices and temptations that other emperors fell into. The key to Marcus Aurelius' success lay in maintaining a consistent routine. He developed habits in his life that enabled him to overcome laziness and avoid procrastination. Ultimately, the key to avoiding procrastination is having a routine. Marcus Aurelius integrated all his responsibilities as a fundamental part of his life. Just as we need to eat, wash, and sleep, Marcus Aurelius turned those responsibilities into something indispensable, to the point that he couldn't conceive of living without fulfilling them. All Stoics, just like Aristotle, understood that we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. For instance, Marcus Aurelius would start his day early. In his own words, at dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work. As a human being, there was no time for staying in bed. He would begin his day by writing in his personal journal, dedicating a few minutes to record his thoughts and organize his mind. He would remind himself of what truly mattered. Then, he would prepare himself to face his responsibilities and the people around him. He would say to himself, today I shall meet people who are meddling, ungrateful, aggressive, treacherous, malicious, unsocial. Marcus Aurelius knew that he couldn't allow those people to affect his judgment and happiness. He was clear that he must act according to what he deemed right. Following this, Marcus Aurelius would begin with his most important responsibilities. He wanted to tackle them first, as he was rested and ready to work. His focus was entirely on the task at hand. Concentrate every minute, like a Roman, like a man, on doing what's in front of you with precise and genuine seriousness. Tenderly, willingly, with justice, Marcus Aurelius would say in his meditations. As you can see from his routine, there was no room for procrastination. You may be wondering how you can act like Marcus Aurelius and overcome procrastination, how you can prepare yourself mentally, and what techniques you can follow. In the following section, I will explain 7 Stoic techniques that have personally helped me avoid procrastination and increase my productivity. I will divide them into 2 parts. The first will address how to prepare the mind to avoid procrastination, and the second part will focus on the actions we can take to overcome procrastination. Part 1. Prepare the mind. 1. Change your perspective. Procrastination is a problem primarily experienced in the first world. We procrastinate because we can afford to do so. If we were to ask someone who doesn't have enough to eat if they ever procrastinate, the answer would likely be negative. Most of us live relatively comfortable lives, which is why we need to increase our sense of urgency when it comes to our responsibilities. When we procrastinate and have a deadline to meet, we end up completing the task on the last day when there is little time left. It seems that laziness disappears and we become productive, acting as we should. All of this occurs due to the sense of urgency. By setting your own deadlines for your responsibilities, you will increase your urgency when it comes to work, and it will help you overcome procrastination. But how do we ensure that we meet the self-imposed deadline? For example, you can talk to a family member or a friend and let them know that if you don't complete your task before the deadline, you will have to give them money. This type of consequence will compel you to take action before the chosen deadline. Remember, increasing your sense of urgency is key to overcoming procrastination. 2. Avoid low-value distractions. Typically, when we procrastinate, the activities we engage in as substitutes for what we should be doing are low-value distractions. By low-value distractions, I mean activities that waste our time and provide little or no value. In fact, they often cause us distress because deep down, we know we should be doing something else. Therefore, not only are these distractions unrewarding, but we also don't fully enjoy them. Would you truly derive more enjoyment from these distractions if you engage in them after completing your responsibilities? Change the order of actions. Work first, then indulge. 3. Reorganize your responsibilities. There are tasks we must complete that are difficult or time-consuming. These tasks can overwhelm us or make us feel burdened, leading to procrastination. If I were to ask you if you can work for 5 hours without getting distracted, chances are you wouldn't be able to. However, you could work for an hour without distractions. That is more feasible, and you could break it down into 5-minute intervals. Everyone is capable of working for 5 minutes straight. If we apply this logic to long or challenging tasks, meaning we divide them into smaller parts and treat each part as a unique, shorter, and more achievable task, it is likely that this approach to tackling our responsibilities will help us overcome procrastination. Part 2. Actions. 4. Take the first step. Every procrastinator knows that the hardest part is always starting the task. Once you've taken the first step, you've overcome the most challenging part. Force yourself to begin without dwelling on how long it will take to complete the task or how difficult it may be. Just take that first step, which is the hardest yet most important one. That momentum will help you move forward with the second step, the third, and the fourth. Being a procrastinator also has its advantage. Once you start, you don't want to stop because you know how difficult it is to start over or resume the task. 5. The 5-second rule. Building on the previous point, one of the techniques I use in my daily life to take the first step is the 5-second rule. It involves counting from 5 to 0, and when you reach 0, you begin the task. The idea is to clear your mind and not think about anything else but starting. Count from 5 and start without overthinking it. Personally, this technique has been very helpful in my life whenever I need to do something that makes me uncomfortable. I count from 5, and without thinking twice, I do it. 6. The Pomodoro technique is a trick to divide your work time into more manageable chunks, making it easier to tackle your tasks. It can be more challenging to start working if you think you have a solid 5 hours ahead of you, for example. But with the Pomodoro technique, you can approach your work in a simpler way. The Pomodoro technique involves working for 25 uninterrupted minutes and then taking a 5-minute break. This is called a Pomodoro. After completing 4 Pomodoros, take a 20-minute break and then repeat the process. Everyone is capable of working for 25 minutes straight. If we realize that by completing 4 Pomodoros, we have worked for an hour and 40 minutes with 100% focus and have rested for 20 minutes. Focusing on an hour and 40 minutes of continuous work can be challenging because we tend to get distracted if we're not operating at our full capacity. It's even possible that we won't start because we succumb to procrastination. However, with this trick, you'll be able to approach the work in 25-minute intervals that everyone can tackle with 100% productivity. 7. Eliminate distractions. Our brain tends to seek the path of least resistance. If you have your mobile phone near your workspace, a gaming console, or anything else that can distract you, you must remove all those distractions from your work environment. Design an environment that makes procrastination difficult and where the only option is to finish your task. Start by identifying what things prevent you from doing your work. Once you've identified them, remove them from your workspace to make procrastination less tempting. What do you think of these techniques to avoid procrastination? Do you apply any other tricks? I look forward to your response in the comments. Remember that we need discipline to effectively implement all the techniques mentioned earlier. Without discipline and the willingness to change, we won't achieve anything. Here are 2 videos full of Stoic wisdom that you're sure to enjoy. Until next time.